2 games can define our season, because every game matters when you're going up against City.
The players are injured. Could this be the opportunity for Ethan Nwaneri?
I think this is too big an occasion to throw Nwaneri.
A lot of Tottenham fans are looking at it and thinking, right, this is a massive opportunity for us to win the game. No Odegaard, no Rice. This is the thing, we talk about squad. Well, now the squad is needed.
Any mistakes that cost us here, he's dropped against City. That's how I see it.
Is anyone tempted to give Sterling a debut?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
I am.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. And we're back here again outside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, only 5 months on from the last game in the thick of a title race, and only 6 Premier League games after, as well, we're so early into this campaign. Before we're going to break down everything you need to know about this massive North London derby, here's a little word about the amazing Parimatch UK. The first North London derby of the season is here, and the red and white sides of North London lock horns at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Last year the Gunners came away with a 3-2 victory. In fact, Arsenal have not lost to Spurs in over 2 years now, and our friends at Parimatch UK are offering you the chance to back the Gunners to win at an enhanced odds of 40-1. To claim this offer, simply create a Parimatch UK account, opt into the promotion, and then place a £1 bet on Arsenal to beat Tottenham. Remember guys, you must be 18 plus and a UK resident, and full terms and conditions apply, with all the links you need in the description below. Please gamble responsibly. A huge thank you to Parimatch UK for sponsoring this video. Welcome to the preview, everyone. Welcome to all of you. Comes around thick and fast, doesn't it, in North London derby?
When you said 6 games, I thought, what?
Yeah.
But it's actually 6 Premier League games, obviously with the summer and pre-season in between. But yeah, it's come around thick and fast. Probably not at the best of times, but we're going to get into why.
Yeah, we will.
But it's always exciting. It's always exciting in North London derby. Always nervy as well. So it's a mix of emotions right now.
And because we had that last game not long ago, Robbie, in the thick of a title race, that pressure, we must win to keep the pressure on Man City. This is kind of the flip side of the season. You know, we are at the very beginning, but it doesn't feel like there's any less pressure. It doesn't feel like there's any less stress on this game.
Lots of pressure on this game. Lots of pressure on this game. But first of all, I want to big up that lady from the, Beauty and Platinum shop across the way there. She came up to me and she gave me this and the bangle as well, and she said, "You will be kings," right? So
there we go.
I'm wearing this now as a good omen, man. Arsenal are going to be kings here in North London come Sunday. But listen, it's a tough game. It's a tough game. It always is, no matter what. But you know what? Despite the injuries, which has given them a lot of confidence, obviously, you can tell by all the Tottenham fans I've spoken to around here today, the first thing they talk about is the players that are missing in midfield. But despite that, I still think I'm still coming here confident.
Yeah,
I'm still coming here confident.
We can't talk about this game without talking about the injuries. Now, there will be a Predict 11 video where we're going to, after everything we've talked about in this video, let you know the 11s that we think will be going out. Mikel Arteta is going to have to get very creative. However, he's going to deal with the injuries we've got. But let's just run through them, because Takehiro Tomiyasu is reportedly making good progress, still not expected to be fit. Gabi Jesus, though, it is a little bit touch and go. There is a feeling he could be available for the game. Ricardo Calafiori, of course, played the game against France for Italy in their 3-1 win. Good win for Italy, that, may I say. But he came off injured, and they sent him back home after he didn't play the second game for Italy. Rightly so, no point risking it. Martin Odegaard, we know, has gone off with an ankle problem playing for Norway. Mikel Merino as well is unavailable with a shoulder injury, just keeping him out for 2 months. Kieran Tierney, of course, missing, and Declan Rice suspended for the game. We'll go into Tottenham's absences in a sec. But look, I mean, however big or small a squad you've got, that is a lot of key players missing, especially in one key area of the pitch, Turkish.
It is. It's quite unfortunate because, you know, in the transfer window, we all felt like we didn't do enough, but I guess it was in an area outside of the one that we've got a problem in now. Sure. It's just that I look at the sales of Emil Smith-Rowe and the loan of Vieira and just think, you know, we surely want to keep him one of them.
Vieira's injured as well, apparently.
Yeah. No, he's on the injury list as well, but surely keeping one of them rather having no one come in would have been the better choice. But listen, it's unfortunate, but we've got to test the squad now. You know, the rumours are Arteta likes a small squad, but at the same time he also said we're going into the season light a few weeks ago. But he's got a job to do, because in the next week we've got 3 tough away games that, listen, it's very early, but they can define our season.
Yeah.
You know, the next 2 games can define our season, because every game matters when you're going up against City. We saw that last season. Liverpool saw that multiple seasons. So listen, we've dropped points in the first 3, obviously in the last game out. We've got to bounce back with a win now, regardless of injuries.
Robbie, you know, we work in this online space. We've seen a lot of the reaction from Arsenal fans, and look, I've felt the need to sort of, you know, vent some frustration about the injuries and the players we're missing. But I kind of keep thinking it's North London Derby week. Like, we just got to keep calm and carry on, right? We just got to rally and get going, because I don't care what state we go in. There's always an expectation that you represent in the shirt, and you give it your all, no matter that. And I know that the injuries can be an excuse and they can be, you know, a consideration, but we just got to rally together now as a fan base and as a club.
No, 100%. Listen, you're going to get injuries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were very fortunate last year because we didn't have a lot of injuries to key players, right? You know what I mean? We had a season, basically we had Gabriel and Saliba played literally the whole season.
Yeah.
Odegaard played, you know, he was never injured. It's unfortunate, you know what I mean? I hate these international breaks this early in the season.
Stupid, isn't it?
You know, you've played 3 games, so you're not even up to peak fitness yet, and then you get sent away to go and play for your country in a Nations League game as well, which there was so little interest in that Nations League, right? The only, you notice on TV, the only games they showed were the England games. They even showed, the other night I wanted to see, I was like, all right, let me watch the France-Italy game.
It was free on YouTube. All of the other games were free on YouTube.
Showing it on YouTube? Yeah, I mean, but that just shows you, even it being free, shows you the importance of this tournament. It's not of that much importance. So I'm not saying don't have it, but why this early in the season? It just doesn't make sense. But the players are injured. They're out. The Marino ones are completely unfortunate. That's a player that they bought in for these circumstances, and he gets injured. You know, now, like you said, they've got to get creative. And then, could this be the opportunity for Ethan Nwaneri? When we was away in the summer, we all looked at him and said, hey, this kid looks like he's ready. This could be his moment. You know what I mean? We've seen it with other players, young players, burst through when they've been given the opportunity. The obvious one I look at is Kobe Mainoo at Manchester United. You know what I mean? A youth player, sort of thrust in because of injury and proved himself and is now like one of their main guys. So this could be a big opportunity for Ethan Nwaneri if he gets the call up to show everybody what he can do. You know what I mean? Because they've obviously put a lot of faith in him. They've obviously said to themselves, we can actually afford to let Vieira go because this kid is so good. Listen, it's hard to throw a player like that into a game like this. But if he's got the right temperament and everything like that, it might be the moment. It might be the moment. Listen to this guy.
I bet me.
That's
KG.
that's
your kryptonite, isn't it? Bet me.
That's actually KG. And he should never ever say that Arsenal are shit, right? When he supports Manchester United. Concentrate on the Southampton game. But no, so I feel that, listen, we
past shouting Arsenal shit
in Tottenham.
I do feel that, you know, there's opportunities there for players to step up. Really is.
Yeah, there are. Well, like I said, we're going to really hash it out because I think we're going to have very different ideas for what this 11 could look like going on to Sunday. But Turkish, I want to take you back to Further Arsenal podcast where we all kind of debated a lot of different things around, kind of had the feeling around the club right now. But then when it came to predictions, I normally don't bring predictions forward this early into the preview. You went 3-1. And I just get this feeling, you know, tell me if I'm wrong, that maybe there's this sense of whatever problems we got, big middle finger to them, we've got to win it. Yeah. Like this is, and it's Derby week, and I just feel like the noise around the club I've understood, and I've had my frustrations, and of course to not have Marino, Rice, Odegaard, whatever, but I just feel like whatever happens, we've got to kind of go as, it sounds a bit cringe and a bit corny, but almost come as one as a club. Like, you don't win these games if you've kind of got these background noise and this mess going on and uncertainty. The away fans need to be loud, which they always will be, and the club and the players that go out there need to really believe they can win. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can't put too much weight on pre-season, but one of the main things I noticed in those first couple of games in the US was that we've rotated heavily. A lot of our young players featured, and we still played the same football in the same way. True. So, you know, at the end of the day, we're in the 5th year of this process, phase 5 and all of that. So for me, the transfer window didn't hit the way it should have hit. But maybe on the pitch, in terms of the squad now, everyone can come in and out, you know, similar to that the Pep era in terms of rotation and whatnot. And the style of play doesn't change, the resilience doesn't change, the domination. That's the hope. You know, that's the hope. And I'm quietly confident. I know Robbie said he's confident. I was prior to the injury to Odegaard. I'm quietly confident still now. I say quietly because, firstly, we've got a big chance because the way Tottenham play. You know, they're going to leave space for us, and I think, you know, we've killed them on the counter before. We've killed them. You know, it's not just last season we gave them possession. It's happened a couple of times. So I think we can get at them. We have all the tools necessary to do it. But again, I don't know how much this injury shakes up the squad because, listen, we're going to do unpredicted 11, but does Havertz drop into midfield? Does Saka come into the 10? Does, you know, Sterling start on the... There's so many questions off the back of it. Or does the guy we went into the season as backup get his chance, which is Ranieri? 17, you know, we can debate whether it's fair to rely upon him. But right now, I think maybe a wild card like a Ranieri in the midfield, you know, that would be my preference. But like I said, that's for the predicted 11. I just think we've got the tools there to beat them. Tottenham are not a great side. You know, they're not playing great football. They can be got at. Angie's an open man. Like, the only time he really changed it up was against City towards the end of last season. Other than that, I mean, we know his flaws, and we know we have a good record here in the last couple of years now, 2-2.
Yeah, and you could argue actually that with the injuries we've got, there's even more temptation for him to stick to his plan A and sort of really take the game to us, which, again, they've got players that can hurt us, but you almost wonder if that plays into our hands.
Let's go under a lot of pressure as well, because, you know, I mean, I think now a lot of Tottenham fans are looking at it and thinking, right, this is a massive opportunity for us to win the game. No Odegaard, no Rice. Come on. You got to perform, you got to deliver. So puts him under a lot of pressure as well. And like Turkish said, we've won here the last 2 occasions we come here. And also, let's not forget, we've got a brilliant away record. Our last 10 away games, 9 wins, 1 draw. Right? I mean, we got to come here with confidence. It's the same sort of defensive structure we're going to have. We've got the same defence, which has been the bedrock of what we have built these away wins on, right? And the attack, and that Raheem Sterling sort of lurking in the background. I think, honestly, you know, I think a lot of fans are really underestimating us, and I think we can come here and get the job done. And even the guys that are in midfield, I know we might say the legs ain't, but the 2 guys in Jorginho and Partey are very, very experienced midfield players, you know, who should be able to cope with what's coming. So can be interesting. Let's go through some information around this game. Of course, Arsenal's recent games in the derby, we did lose. If we go back 5 games ago, we lost 3-0 in that game that basically decided Champions League football. But since then, we won 3-1 at the Emirates. We beat them 2-0 here. We drew 2-2 at the Emirates last season and won 3-2, so 3 wins and a draw since that really bad night that cost us Champions League football. In terms of injuries for Tottenham, Solanke, Richarlison and Van der Ven are the players that supposedly could be injured, but I think Van der Ven supposedly... Yeah, they reckon that Van der Ven and Solanke will be
Newcastle, what else have we got? Newcastle's form, they drew 1-1, not Newcastle. Tottenham's form. They did lose at Newcastle. That was their last defeat. And watching that game, I actually felt they had chances to win it. But Newcastle soaked in the pressure and said, look, we'll get our moment in behind at some point. It came. 2-1 win for Newcastle. They did beat Everton 4-0 in an impressive win. But Leicester was a draw for them. Again, a game, Leicester, a lot of noise around them. They would have expected to get the win, but they didn't. So only a win and a draw and a defeat in their first 3. Arsenal started with 2 wins and a draw. That draw coming at home to Brighton, but a 2-0 win at Villa, our most impressive result of the season so far. What else have we got? That Tottenham have lost 5 of their last 7 Premier League meetings with Arsenal, more than they had in their previous 16 North London derbies, and Arsenal have won their last 2 Premier League away games against Tottenham, as many in their previous 17 visits. They last won 3 consecutive North London derbies between January 87 and September 88. So you got to go back around, what's that, 40 years, 30 to 40 years to the last time we won 3 in a row. But hey, we've got to do it at some point, you'd think. Or maybe we don't, but I hope so. I mean, look, that'd be really, really impressive to go and win 3 in a row here. I think the big thing is that we have been building up, you know, over the years. Since that 3-0 defeat here, we've been building. Our trajectory has got us to a point where I used to come here, honestly, you go back a couple of years ago, and it was just, I'll take a point. I just felt this was a derby that always favoured the home team. If you're at home, you're going to win, basically. And now I'm at a point where you offer me a draw, I wouldn't. It's like, no, play it out, even with the injuries we've got, because I've got faith in this team. Now, I might look a mug at full time for saying that, but that's what we've been building towards, Turkish. Yeah,
and listen, I might change the mood of this preview now. I think even, you know, the fan base now, there's a lot of coping going on because we've got to win this game. We've got to win this game.
Well, that's going to be our next question.
Because if we draw it, we go 4 points behind City if they win their game as expected. And if we lose at Etihad, we are 3 games behind City already. 3 games behind City. We saw how difficult it was last season having dropped points in December to catch up to them. When they're immaculate, Robbie just read off the away wins and in general our performance across the year. We cannot drop points in this game. That's the position we've left ourselves in, having dropped points against Brighton. We cannot afford to drop points. We draw here and drop points against City in some way, shape or form. We're minimum 5 or 7 behind. That to me, at such an early stage when we know how difficult it is against City, it will seem like an amount that we can't claw back. So there is pressure on us in this game. I know the pressure's swung a bit in Tottenham because of our injuries, but the pressure doesn't relieve of us because of our injuries.
Is it a must win, probably?
I don't think it's a must win this early in the season, no. I think it's a must not lose. You know, I agree with Turkish. If we lose this and then lost to, City the following week, you're starting to look, really, it's really tough, even at this early stage of the season. But I think these games are, go away, don't lose this game. You've got the home game where you can, but I want to, it's what you said, where you said, we used to come here, and I'm like you, I used to come here, I'd take a point. I'd be coming here, we'd be speaking to fans, we'd be like, yeah, take a point all day long. It's White Hart Lane, it's tough, the fans are on top of you, we all know what it's going to be like here. But now, especially after the last couple of seasons, especially after I know the team that we've got, I'm coming here thinking, let's try and take all 3 points. And you're right, particularly when we consider, and then next week we've got to go to City. I mean, I said it right at the start of the season, it's a really tough start to the season for Arsenal, and people are seeing it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That game against Villa, tough game, but we came through. Against Brighton, we were cruising until the referee got involved, but it turned out to be a really tough afternoon against a very good side. And these guys, at home, they're strong. That's where their strength is, at home. They either win here or they lose. They don't really draw games either. I think they've only drawn 1 game here in the past couple of seasons.
Well, that fits with their style, doesn't it? They play a brand of football that is to leave it all out there.
It's gunno. And what I see with them, especially if they go a goal down, then they go all out. Mm-hmm. We saw that when they played against us. They go all out and they leave even more space. So it's got to be a disciplined performance here, right? I think the players have got to play. It's too early in the season for them. Maybe we might think that as fans, for them to be playing with that so much fear that we have to win. I mean, you go to win, of course, but, don't lose the game. It's like with that game at Brighton the other day when, I was sat with Julian and he was going, why don't we need to attack more, I'd rather us just win, either we win or lose. I was like, no, psychologically at this start of the season, you don't want to lose that game.
No, you don't.
Right? Come out of it 10 men with at least a draw and lick your wounds. But this game, a win would be, especially going into that game next week, a win would be awesome. Yeah. Because that's another really tough game. And then after that, it starts to get, like you said, throw into the middle of that. We got that Europa League, Champions League game against the Europa League champions, which are Atalanta. With guys like Lookman and out playing good. That's a tough game. Yep, so it's some really big games coming up for us when we're a bit down in our squad.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm fascinated to discuss how Arteta will approach us tactically. So that's coming up now on the predicted 11. But let's get your predictions for the match. Are you sticking with what you said?
I'm going to stick 3-1.
Yeah,
I'm going to stick with 3-1. I'm
so torn between. I said 2-2 on Forever, but I'm leaning towards a 2-1, which I made on another show. The only reason is our clean sheets away from home. We've been so solid on the road. Like, not just like winning games, like we haven't been conceding goals. Do we suddenly concede 2? But I do think Tottenham have the firepower and the kind of exuberance in their team to kind of do that. I think I'll stick with the 2-2, but I have a feeling we might just sort of drown out all the noise, middle finger to the haters and go and win this game. I'd love to see that.
I'm going 2-1, built on the strength of our defence, right? We've got a very, very good defence. They haven't got a good defence, right? Despite they've got a lot of players that, on the highlight reel look great. Porro, Van der Ven, these guys are going forward. Is what I was doing a preview earlier with expressions. I was saying going forward. These guys look great. We look good on the highlight reel. But when it comes down to the actual defending, Van der Ven on a set piece, Porro, great going forward. But when I think that's where we can get at them, and they will play that high line. You know what I mean? They will. At some stage, that high line will come into play, and we can exploit that. And I think Tactically, we're really good. I'm going 2-1.
That's going to be...
I'm going with a justified 2-1. I'm not going with a like a...
Not hopeful.
I'm going with a justified 2-1. I'm justifying how we're going to do it.
Yeah, this could be really interesting actually, because if you actually look at our last 2 wins, the job was done by half time. 3-0 up in the last game, 2-0 up in the game before that, and actually the second half was about hanging on and Tottenham had chances. Is this going to be a similar rhythm and match? But let's see. Let's go predict the 11. Big thanks to Parimatch UK once again. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below ahead of this game. Are you confident? What are you expecting from the game? And let us know as well what you do for the 11, which we're going to discuss now. Catch you in a sec.